1995, and I'd like to say that I really like to thank Siwa for starting this team, and he was the pioneer. He started this back in the year 1999 or year 2000. We were all very young entrepreneurs, just like you. He gathered us all around in one, maybe that tables, about 10 or 12 of us, and I think that's how one thing lead to another and to start in terms of the team. We have a lot of good, meaningful discussion, and I think from there we grow from a very ignorant entrepreneur to become maybe a more successful entrepreneur down the line. And even after 11 years, Siwa is still driving the team with the new group of leaderships, with the persistence and the attention and the passion that he has, just like before. So I really respect Siwa for that, and his true love for the entrepreneur here in Malaysia. He don't just say it, he even get a PhD on these things, So, and after he get his PhD, he still come back to Malaysia and then do on this entrepreneur. And I hope that in another 10 years from now, some of you over here will be the great entrepreneur, and the rest of us will be listening to your journey, your story, that we would all be inspired and to inspire the next generation of the entrepreneurs to come. And of course, we cannot be successful without giving credits, and my credit goes to my investor Quibi, who is there, who is the initial funder of all my company, and without those money that she give to us, most likely we would still be a Malaysian company and doing some business here in Malaysia. And I think not only giving us money, giving a lot of guidance. So a lot of things that you like to know about, heard about us or what we need to do, I think Quibi will be able to tell you, and she has a whole lot more experience dealing with many other startup companies like us, and help them to become successful at the end of the day. So thank you very much, Quibi, on that. And of course, my staff, Chang is here. So it's incredible. I think I start to realize that almost everyone who are 30 and 35 years and below would somehow or another know Chang one way or the other, and they just sometimes just show that we have aged so much that we are no longer in this digital network. They are all Twittering and Facebook and so on, and they are making big friends everywhere and connecting everywhere, and we are like, past our time. Okay, let me go back to the little bit of story of where we are. I think I started the company back in 1995, and that is about 15 years ago. And since it's 15 years, there are a lot of things, a lot of stories, through these 15 years, and of course I might not remember all of them, and I might not even be able to spend tell you all in this half an hour or 1 hour that I want to tell you. But please feel free to ask me some of these questions. How I actually started the company was in a way not planned, not really that well planned. I was working in police after I finished school, and police was back in 1990, and that was only 2 years after the communist surrender. So it's a very ulu place, but I decided to work in a very ulu place because I've never been there, and I thought that it would be fun to work in a factory with a lot of people, and I like to learn about the people. So I went there, but when I was there, it was actually a very lonely place because it's only paddy field and the factory. So either I spend 16 hours in the factories most of the time, or if after work I can have dinner, and as in Kanga Police, if you have been there in the 1990s, about 8:30 the town is quite dark. Everyone closed, and 8:30 you can go many places other than the main shopping center that would still open until 9 something. But the rest is after 8:30 is quite dark, and 9 o'clock you're supposed to eat supper and then you go to sleep. So at that time the internet first started, and I was dying that I need to get access to the internet so that I can send email and talk to my friends, because a lot of my friends were still in US and other places, and I want to communicate with them. So then it gets started, and at that time the internet was as an email, but then later Mozart was started, and then there's this browser that started up, and even Mozart was quite in the early stage. They tried to incorporate sound into it. There was an attempt, even though it didn't work very well. It was very bulky. To install the internet at that time in 1993 was like a PhD thesis, right? You really have to figure out everything, and some of the things that you would not even heard of today, I'll tell you, you have to figure that out. There was like one column that you have to fill. It's called MTU. If any one of you still remember what, and for your TCP/IP setting, you have to fill out this MTU. Nobody, I don't know what it is, and you have to find out, and so on and so forth, before you can get the internet connection. So there was some group like the team over here that was in Penang, a group of interested people to talk about the internet and what we can do, and it was a little club that was going on back in Penang, and they meet once every weekend, once a month. So I find internet was fantastic. It's fine. I think I started in 92 or 93 time frame in Perlis, and by the time 95 time frame, they already have Yahoo and then Netscape. And at that time, I told myself, I've been working in this factory for 5 years, and I told my boss, since I have no place to go, I always end up working 2 shifts in this factory. I have worked here for 10 years. So perhaps maybe I should do something else. And I said, I'd like to start something on this internet kind of things. And he asked me, what is this business about? I said, I have no idea, but it seems like all these things connecting the internet is quite interesting. I like to give it a try. And if I fail, maybe can I come back to you and ask you for the job back then? Maybe I'll take 2 years to go off. So I said bye bye to him, and I started my company. So fine, you start your own company, but then what is your business plan? What do you do? I didn't go to graduates. I didn't go to business school, so I don't have a business plan. So I don't know what it is that I want to do. I know that there's this internet. Then I look at it and say, oh, Yahoo. At that time there's Yahoo, and Yahoo, I'm not sure whether it's listed at that time or not, but it's very popular because it lists all the websites. And I said, okay, maybe I'll just do a mini Yahoo of Malaysia. So I list all the link of all the new website that's coming out here in Malaysia. Then of course at that time there's a lot of things not available, and I know that there are a lot of students like myself who are studying overseas who wants to know about things in Malaysia. So I said, maybe I should give them news, right? Because when I was a student in US, we received the newspaper from the Malaysian embassy, but it's always like 1 month later. And only if you are one of those selected university, you will get it, and some university will not. They don't receive the newspaper. So I said, if I can give out the news, would be good. But the news website were not available. So I said, why don't I just do a summary of the news and then post it up? So I've asked some of my staff who work in the factory, asked them to do part-time and say do a summary and things like that. So those are kind of fun time, and then I have to, to do that, what do I need to do? So I have to buy a computer and then look for their house, and their house was like in the middle of the paddy field, and then we set up the internet access for them, and then so that at home they can do the summary and then do up the things. So it was interesting, and then suddenly become very popular because all the students like to know what are the news happening in Malaysia. We do a summary for them and so on and so forth. So we are taking the task of the newspaper at that time. Until the newspaper have their own website, then they write to me and say, please don't copy my news anymore. Take it off, or else we'll sue you. Then it's okay, fine, we'll do that. But then as I move on forward, there's no revenue. It's just all fun. And then at that time, I said, okay, beside news, what do they want? Then I said, oh, maybe music. So we try to put out music. So